Okay, this is a Reality Bites 2 script. I wrote some new dialogue for you. Um, Mike and Leilana thoroughly enjoyed their performing of Romeo and Juliet and looked at each other with passion in their eyes. I really hope you decide to live in San Francisco with me, Leilana. Believe me, Mike, I want to, but I'm contractually bound to a series of documentaries that I'm producing about saving the American buffalo. That is a noble cause, Leilana. The American buffalo is such an icon. Could you produce these documentaries while living with me in San Francisco? They seem to want me to be in Texas as a resident for now, so I can gain an understanding of the collective psyche of the Texas people and how it relates to the American buffalo. Yeah, I think the American buffalo holds a kind of spiritual significance to it that enlightens the people of Texas with a feeling of connectedness to a reality that transcends time and space. Yes, I agree. Within this reality, they can see colors never seen by human eyes, feel emotions never felt by human minds, touch things never felt by human skin, and hear things never heard by human ears. Yes, they can. It's so beautiful. Yes, it is. But if you come with me, Leilana, I can introduce you to the people of San Francisco. Who can introduce you to transcendent pleasures of the mind, body, spirit, and soul that can be accessed through traveling to a higher plane of existence by profound love. Yes, that would be exciting. I wish I didn't feel stuck here. I want you so much, Leilana. Do you want to practice some more William Shakespeare? Sure. How about Romeo and Juliet? Sure. Mike and Leilana practiced again. Here's an excerpt from it. Now I'm going to go get my Romeo and Juliet script, or, book. Okay, Romeo and Juliet. I'm going to read for you the introduction by Stuart Gillespie, just to give you, before I read, go into the script, just to give you kind of a general understanding of the cultural significance of Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Romeo and Juliet is usually dated to the mid 1590s. Well before any of Shakespeare's major tragedies of the 1600s. The question of the play's relation to these later works is worth raising first. Modern readers are inclined to equate tragic power with large quotients of bleakness and pessimism. This is one reason why in the late 20th century, King Lear is often felt to represent the apogee of Shakespeare's tragic work. But the absence of such qualities from Romeo and Juliet is not a sufficient reason to relegate it to a lower status as a tragedy. I think it's pretty tragic myself. Nor is the presence in it of remarkably effective comic scenes, which can easily be paralleled from the later tragedies. But the two respects in which the play can most readily be seen as operating within the tragic pattern, limitations are in evidence. First, the supernatural elements in the situations, though frequently referred to by the characters, seem not to create the effect of tragic forces in the play. The prologue famously refers to star-crossed lovers. The Rolling Stones use that phrase. Is that a Rolling Stones song? Okay. Remember the Rolling Stones? Yeah, the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones, the Rolling Stones use that. Okay. And Romeo begins by describing his fear of some consequence, yet hanging stars that will expire the term of his life. But these references to fate and fortune never build up to a coherent explanation for the play's catastrophe. Romeo's death scene itself offers no suggestion of cosmic forces at work, and the claim of events which led to it described by Friar Lawrence in his final resume as a mere sequence of accidents. Secondly, the 2 points in Act 5 offering scope for climactic tragic intensity, containing the deaths of Romeo and Juliet 50 lines apart in Act 5, Scene 3, are both emotionally frigid. Neither character looks death in the face as it really is. Death is to them a relief, almost a mere figure of speech. Mason, 1970. None of this is to deny that the play can boast wonderful qualities and incomparable moments. It is merely to say that we should imagine we should not imagine its appeal to lie principally in its tragicality or associate too strongly with Shakespeare's later tragedies. In other ways, in fact, the play gains by comparison with later Shakespearean works. Not a few of Shakespeare's later young lovers seem insipid and half-hearted creations when we recall the robust and vibrant energy with which Romeo and Juliet are invested. Shakespeare's achievement here does not lie in giving the lovers truth to life in any direct sense. The extreme youth of Juliet, for example, seems to have more to do with romance than with contemporary reality. In the balcony scene, which T.S. Eliot called a kind of image of the perfect of verse drama, what matters is not a realistic effect, but an atmosphere of wonder and delight. Here, as so often in the play, the most striking impression is of the poetry. A poetry of exhilarated surges, magically swift, light, and intense. Here are the transports of an imagination which is recklessly quick and headlong, but also accurate and subtle. Nor will any audience forget the two characters Shakespeare added to those found in the story as he knew it from his source, Arthur Brooks' poem, The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet, and the Nurse and Mercutio. The former's comic verbosity certainly suggests she is one of the characters in which the author delighted. And no actor who is capable of speaking her lines can really fail with the part. Hers is perhaps Shakespeare's first great human verse speech ever, 1989. Its rhythms are so supple that some early editions erroneously printed part of it as prose. The phrases are hers and hers alone. Character unfolds with each phrase. Granville Barker, 1930. But she is more than a detached personality, a character sketch in the play. The nurses Discourse operates within the region of the painfully funny, and ultimately has similarities with that of Lear's Fool. Like him, she is licensed to speak profound nonsense. Everett, 1989. But Mercutio is perhaps the play's greatest single invention. His exquisite ebullience and overflow of youthful life, Coleridge, 1818, issues out in his wit, in which arena he is the only match for Romeo. It was once said that Shakespeare was obliged to kill Mercutio in the third act, lest he be killed by him. Johnson, 1970 or 1765. Okay. That Mercutio's appeal of brisk overbalancing the play and distracting us from the lovers of Mercutio's death. At any rate, something of a showstopper. It involves a serious sense of loss, more serious in ways than those we experienced with the lovers. They have made words mean of each other. I have done the 3.1 are Mercutio's last words. He has no regrets, no resignation. So, Oh, there's 1818. That was just a what's called. Scene 2, Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo. He just has scars that never felt the wound. Enter Juliet above the window. But soft! What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all of the heaven, having some business to entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there? Are they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heavenward through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that it were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. She speaks, oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being over my head as a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn by love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this? 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any of the parts belong to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call name by other name, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, Retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name for thy name, which is no part of thee. Take all. I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo. What man art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word. My eyes have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague? Either, fair maid, if either thee this like. How canst thou hither tell me, and wherefore? The archer walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here. With love's light wings I did overperch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me. If they do see thee, they will murder thee. Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity. I would not for the world they saw thee here. I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued by wanting of thy love. By whose direction foundst thou out this place? By love that first did prompt me to inquire, he lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as the vast shore, washed with the farthest sea I should adventure for such merchandise. Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell in form, fain deny, would I have spoke, but farewell compliment. I know thou wilt say, hey, and I will take thee at that word, yet, if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false as love reproaches thee, if thou pronounce it faithfully, or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown thee. So that wilt woo, but else would not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I'm too fine, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those. That the cunning be strange, I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou was over as there, my true love's page. And therefore, pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night has so discovered. Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow, that tips with silver all those fruit tree tops. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable. What shall I swear by? Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my alder tree, and I'll believe thee. If my heart's dear love, well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be. Everyone can say it light and sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, a sweet repose and rest. Come to my heart, thy heart is that within my breast. Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied? What satisfaction can thou have tonight? The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine. I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would have again. Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love? But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Do, love, adieu. Anon, good nurse, sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little. Oh, blessed night. I'm feared. Being in night, oh, this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial. Rihanna or Juliet above. 3 words, there, Romeo, good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me a word tomorrow. By that I'll procure to come to thee, where in what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all coming on, but I do beseech thee. Okay, to be continued.